Hey everyone, this is Prince Watercress, and welcome back to Let's Play King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. We are now taking on Morgana after getting through the Stone Gardens. Also, Lancelot's shield looks funky because every time you enter this area, your allies will look kind of glitched out until you move. Anyway, you start by going north, and then go east when you have to reach this fork. When you reach this fork, there's actually an upper path you can take to avoid a flame elemental that you would have had to fight if you took the lower path. Yep, there's a hidden passage there. Once you're past that, just keep going north. You'll eventually find an opening in the northernmost wall. That is a cave that you will have to enter to get closer to Morgana. Once you're inside this cave, you'll want to keep to the west side as you continue to go north. As long as you keep doing this, you will avoid any and all enemy encounters. Just keep going north, and when you can't go north anymore, just go west. You'll find a flight of stairs. Sometimes entering these stairs is kind of weird. It feels kind of iffy, but you'll be able to do it. Anyway, after that first flight of stairs, just go north and go through those stairs. Again, entering them is kind of iffy, but you'll reach another flight of stairs. You want to go up those as well. And then you'll enter the final chamber before you meet Morgana. Once you go all the way to the north, you will find a large door-like opening. Once you go through it, say goodbye to whoever you brought with you because they won't be helping you once you go in there. And welcome to Morgana's lair. Now, there is a fire pit in the center of the lair, and if you stand in it, you will gradually lose health, and it's really, really annoying. What's really stupid is that the upper half of the lair is where you're going to be when the final boss battle happens. And that fire pit will also still be there and will still damage you if you stand in it. I really wish I knew what caused the programmers to think that was a good idea, but it's really, really stupid. Anyway, once you walk past the fire pit, you'll finally meet Morgana. After 2 dialogue boxes worth of her talking, you'll finally go toe-to-toe with her, but not before she turns into this giant brown dragon. You want to stay close to the fire pit and not too close to Morgana, otherwise she will hit you with either the fireballs or she will hit you with her jaw when she opens it. That glowing spot in the center is what you want to hit with shield orbs. That is her weak point. Hit it enough times, you'll win the game. The fireballs will definitely cut through your health like butter. So you want to watch Morgana's mouth closely to make sure you can actually avoid the fireballs when need be. Also, just like Warlord Viper's second form, this is entirely reliant on RNG. This battle is very random, even worse than the dragon that we fought at Shield Heights. And not surprisingly, I'm doing post-commentary on this as well. And gee, I bet you can figure out how I managed to beat Morgana. Here's a hint, just like Warlord Viper's second form. You also want to stay away from her claws as well, because those will damage you to the touch as well. After you finally beat the battle that has no pattern to it, that is Morgana, and not Warlord Viper's second form, you'll finally get Arthur's key. You can walk up to it, but there is a script that allows King Arthur to automatically walk up to the key and pick it up after a couple of seconds after you beat Morgana. Once you've grabbed it, the castle collapses, and we've got the ending for King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. Now, I brought Breeze and Lancelot with me. There's Breeze, but why is Brick here? Did they expect me to bring Brick for whatever reason? This happens regardless of who you bring with you. It's always Breeze and Brick for whatever reason. I'm guessing they just did it in alphabetical order because unknown reasons, I guess. But Morgana's hideout is now finally destroyed, and you finally meet the real King Arthur, who basically looks like an older version of Arthur King, except he has a flowing mullet. Misses in the front, party in the back. After he shows his gratitude to Arthur King and the Knights, we finally go back home with the help of Merlin and the Keys of Truth. Also, that chick with the red hair in the background reminds me of one of the Wilson sisters from the B-52s, with that bouffantish hair. The animated series really had a lot of that 80s-ish, 90s-ish hair. And I don't really know why, except 80s and 90s. This was like the beginning of the beginning of the mid-90s, I should say. Well, anyway, after talking with King Arthur, we all go to Stonehenge, which we could have went to in the forest east of Shield Heights if we just kept going south, even though we couldn't have done anything there. Merlin casts the magic to take Arthur, King, and the knights back home. He says goodbye to Arthur, and we say goodbye to this awful game. I really don't know where to begin with this game, so I actually had to write up a little notepad file in front of me just so I could stay on point and get through this as efficiently as possible without going back and forth too much. First of all, this game does have a couple of things going for it. Music and sound is okay. The control is okay-ish. It does what it should. And it uses the old King Arthur and medieval literature for inspiration. This was actually mentioned in the developer interview with Nintendo Power, I believe. However, there are a lot of bad points besides the glitches. It is far too easy to sequence break and not even know it, and therefore you can accidentally glitch yourself out of being able to do stuff, and you have to reset the game and start the whole thing all over, or at least the quest that you're trying to do. It's too easy to get lost. You may have noticed me flutter some papers around sometimes during the Let's Play. I actually had to draw some maps, which weren't to scale, and go off of those. And I'll tell you where I found those maps in the description of this video. The battles with enemies are few and far between, and they're also pretty lackluster. It's just whack whack, they're dead. And you also can't heal between, not between, but during battles, whether they be with normal enemies or in boss battles as well. It really made the game harder than it should have been, and I don't really like that at all. I really hated that. Then there's the password system. At least the Wizard of Oz passwords actually kept track of your progress, how many bricks you had, how many tickets you had, up to a certain point. King Arthur and the Knights of Justice password system is just a 5-portrait, 5-pictures system. And it keeps track of your progress to some extent, but any items that you had to pick up, such as the shield orb attacks and the healing herbs, you had to max out on those all over again. Also, when it says thank you for playing, you can press start to get it to say the end, and then you can press start again to go back to the logo. And then you can reset, and if you wanted to, you could play this game all over again, or fight Morgana again, or whatever, or something, which is something I wouldn't really recommend you unless you're a glutton for punishment. Anyway, I have covered 3 of the 4 bad points. The other one was, of course, some of the weird stuff with the plot, such as Breeze defeating the dragon to make Arthur worthy of getting his caliber. I didn't even know what that was. There was the Stone of Power thing, which, of course, made the game harder than it should have. There was Lug's Key being in a random shed in the village, which I also made reference to Jurassic Park with. There's the Mr. Cow stickers, there's the pop culture references in the shops that you can do absolutely nothing in. I don't even know why those were there, except the programmers having fun. And might as well go into more details about the glitches too, because I didn't do that. Like I said before, it is easy to sequence break without even knowing, and you can glitch stuff out. It's easy to glitch out one of the pieces of the Staff of Reothamus. Sometimes you can actually get the Stone of Power to glitch out for whatever reason. you can miss like you can actually get 2 of the items for the Welton Village church altar, but miss the 3rd one. And when you place those 2 on the church altar, you'll miss out on the 3rd one. You'll never be able to break the curse on Welton Village, therefore making you unable to continue on with the game and forcing you to reset. Then, of course, there was me accidentally doing the mansion stuff before doing the Plane of the Dead, because I thought, well, that was a good idea. And it wasn't, and when I reached my comrades in the Plane of the Dead, I couldn't wake them up, and I had to restart from where I was able to leave off from. And it just really gives this air of this game just not being as play-tested as it should have been. They had 2 years to do this. The series, the TV series, I mean, aired like 92-ish, 93-ish. The game didn't come out until 94-ish, 95-ish. They had 2 extra years, which they gave themselves to try to polish the game, and yet they failed to do so. And that just kind of makes me sad, because this could have been a very good licensed anything to game transition, like Batman Returns or the Simpsons arcade coin-op game or something like that. And instead, it's just one of the worst games I've ever Let's Played, probably the worst one ever to date, and probably one of the worst games I have ever put forth to you, the viewer. I would apologize to putting it forth to the viewer, but then I realized that I have probably done quite a few people some service by Let's Playing this game so that they don't have to. And there really weren't a lot of Let's Play for this game prior to me doing this. Kind of like Wizard of Oz, which this game makes look like Halo. When I say that this game makes Wizard of Oz look like Halo, I'm not lying. Wizard of Oz was actually done better, and that came out a year before King Arthur. And of course, we also missed out on seeing Warlord Blackwing. That was a bad idea. I guess they just couldn't fit everything in the game. Oh well. I mean, it stays true to the show, but the game just isn't polished, and it just amazes me that Enix published this in North America. It's just a doozy to me. So would I recommend this game? I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. To be fair, this game does have some good music, sound, and control, and it stays true to the TV series, and it uses the old King Arthur literature for inspiration, according to the developers, but it's too easy to get lost. Battles are lackluster, can't speak to save my life, lackluster and few and far between. The password system, definitely something to be desired because it doesn't save all of your items. And of course, there's just really weird stuff going on, such as the Mr. Cow stickers and Lug in the shed where we find Lug's key, which could have been touched by some random villager, just therefore keeping us trapped in 5th century England for all of eternity. As well as Breeze finding the dragon to make Arthur worthy of Excalibur. And I'm going to say what I said before. I Let's Played this so you don't have to. So you don't have to play it. So you don't have to Let's Play it. You don't have to do anything with this game other than collect it. Just let it sit in your collection. If you actually wanted to do it for completion purposes, which I'm not going to stop you from doing that, but I'm just like that guy from The Mummy who, if I were to see somebody play this, attempt to play the game, just attempt to put the game in the Super Nintendo and just turn the power switch on, I'd be like that guy from The Mummy who'd be like, "No, you must not read from the book!" In short, don't play this game. You'll be doing yourself a favor. There are better licensed anything to game transition, or basically a whole lot more games that are better than this. Just stay away. Anyway, this is Prince Watercress. Hopefully I'll be back with another game. Until then, this is Prince Watercress. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. And stay away from King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. Seriously.